Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to pull out the key bits of knowledge to get you informed, fast. You know, when you watch a pro golfer just unleash one, it's easy to get caught up in the spectacle, right? You see the feet move and the club's a blur, that amazing finish, and you see the speed, the ball just taking off, and you think, okay, that's it. That's the secret sauce. But here's the thing, and it's kind of fascinating. The real engine, the actual source of power and consistency, it often gets completely missed. It's subtle, hiding right there, but it's absolutely fundamental. So today, that's our mission. We're diving into what we're calling the most overlooked move in a powerful golf swing. We'll peel back the layers, look at what the great ball strikers do, and reveal this biomechanically critical move, something every golfer can understand and hopefully start applying. I'm actually really excited to get into this hidden engine with you. So okay, let's cut to the chase then. What is this hidden engine, this crucial move we're talking about?
It is pretty remarkable, isn't it? How something so seemingly small has such a huge effect. What we're zeroing in on is maintaining the flex, the bend in your right knee during the backswing, for a right-hander, that is. So as your hips and your upper body rotate away from the ball, that right leg needs to hold its original bend. It becomes like a stable but dynamic post. It's not about being stiff or rigid. It's more about creating and holding on to a specific kind of resistance, like a coiled tension. Now, it might look super subtle, almost like nothing's happening from the outside, but biomechanically, for creating power, it's absolutely profound, really is.
That's interesting, because I remember for a while, golf instruction was all about the X factor. That term was everywhere. Was that related to this, or was that kind of a different path to power?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It helps to see the evolution here. The original X factor idea, well, it did aim for power. The thinking was create a big separation between shoulder turn and hip turn, maximize that coil, and, the basic idea of creating a stretch. That part was valid. But the way it was often applied, that's where the problems started. A lot of golfers, even top players, were told to really restrict their hip turn unnaturally, to force that separation, and the result, unfortunately, it led to a lot more lower back strain, even serious injuries, because you were basically asking the body to do something pretty stressful and unnatural, fighting its own mechanics, really.
Okay, so the X factor had a piece of the puzzle, the stretch, but the execution, trying to restrict the hips, was maybe flawed, even dangerous. So how has modern thinking refined that? How do we get that power, that stretch, without, risking injury? What's the safer way?
Right, and this is a really key distinction now. Modern teaching, it's much more about letting the hips turn freely, but, and this is crucial, that turn needs to happen in sync with your upper body rotation. And importantly, through controlled muscle elongation, lengthening the muscles. Think of your body like a big, powerful rubber band, or maybe a spring. When you turn your upper body against that stable, dynamically resisting lower body, specifically holding that right knee flex, you're stretching that whole system. You're coiling it up. And that stretch, that coiling, that's what stores the potential energy you unleash later. It's all about achieving a dynamic stretch, where muscles lengthen under tension, not a forced, rigid restriction.
Ah, I see. So it's less about blocking the hips and more about stretching against a stable but still flexible base.
Exactly. And this dynamic stretch, it's vital. Absolutely vital for consistency and for power. Think about your obliques, those muscles crisscrossing your torso, and the muscles around your hips. They need to be properly lengthened, loaded up, so they can contract powerfully in the downswing. The principle is pretty straightforward. Max speed requires max stretch. An intelligent stretch, though.
That rubber band analogy really clicks. It paints a picture of storing energy elastically. So it's less about brute force restriction and more about this coordinated elastic tension, using the body's design, not fighting it.
Okay, but this sounds like something, well, a lot of us amateurs probably get wrong, right? Even if we're trying hard to hit it further. What are the common mistakes? Where do we tend to go off track with this? Oh, absolutely. It's a very common fault line for amateurs. You generally see two main things go wrong. Either the golfer straightens that trail leg, the right leg, way too early in the backswing, they lock it out, or the opposite happens. They kind of collapse inward with that knee. It dives towards the other leg. And both of those moves, they completely kill the stretch and resistance we were just talking about.
Oh, so?
Well, if you straighten the leg, you lose your anchor, the coil disappears, there's nothing to turn against. If you collapse inwards, you're basically shortening the spring before you even wound it up. So in both cases, yeah, the golfer might turn, but there's no real tension being built, no resistance. The muscles aren't loading properly. So you lose distance, obviously, but you also lose consistency because that predictable muscle tension, that connection to the ground, it's just not there. The engine isn't really primed.
Right. Short-circuiting the power source before it even gets going.
Yeah.
So if that's what we tend to do wrong, how do the pros, the great ball strikers, do it so well?
Yeah.
What does it look like when it's done right? That synchronized loading.
Well, it's really a beautiful display of biomechanics when you see it done well. Great players use that bent right leg as a stable but still dynamic foundation, something to coil into. They don't just turn passively. They often feel like they're pushing slightly into the ground with that trail leg, creating a solid base.
Without locking it straight, though.
Exactly. No locking, no collapsing. From that stable lower body, then they get that powerful elastic stretch through the middle, the upper torso, lifting the arms high, rotating the shoulders, all while maintaining that dynamic resistance in the trail leg and hip. It's this coordinated action that loads the whole system, ground up, primes it for that explosive release. It's like winding a powerful spring deeply rooted in the ground. That's where the torque comes from.
It sounds so, I don't know, intricate maybe, yet you're calling it the most overlooked. Why is this specific move, this stretch and turn thing, why is it considered so critical? Is it really that important?
It's fundamental. I mean, this mechanism, the stretch and turn against that stable lower body, it accounts for probably, rough estimate, about 80% of what makes a golf swing truly powerful.
80%? Wow.
Yeah, think about that. 80%. It's the bedrock, the foundation. Which means, without getting this piece right, all the other little tweaks you might try, a grip change, focusing on the club face, even nailing your pre-shot routine, they're all built on potentially shaky ground if this engine isn't running right.
So it's not just an add-on for power, it's the main generator.
Absolutely. And it's why the top players dedicate so much time to it. Years, really. And it's not just technique practice, it's also serious physical training. Hip mobility, core stability, rotational strength. They build the physical capacity to do this movement efficiently, repeatably, powerfully, especially under pressure. Once that big engine is built and working well, then you can really focus effectively on the finer details, things like grip, club face, routine. They become much more meaningful when the core movement is solid.
Okay, 80%.
Yeah.
That definitely hammers home the importance. It's the engine, not just a turbo boost. Now, speaking of what we do see, a lot of us get fixated on the flashy footwork, right? You see pros, maybe their lead foot slides a bit or lifts right off the ground at impact. Is that where the power's coming from? Should we be trying to copy that?
Yeah, that's a classic one.
Yeah.
And it's where just watching can be a bit misleading if you're trying to figure out cause and effect. That sliding foot or the foot lifting or that dramatic finish way up on the toe, that's not the secret. It's definitely not the cause of the power.
Okay.
It's really just an effect, a natural consequence of an efficient, powerful swing. Think of it like the visible aftershock of the energy release. Once those core muscles have unloaded explosively through the ball, releasing all that stored energy, the body is just going to react. It's going to move dynamically, lift, rotate fully. It looks athletic, sure, and it is powerful, but the power was generated before that point. By the loading, the stretch, the turn we've been talking about, and you don't try to lift your foot. It lifts because you've uncoiled so powerfully.
Got it. So focus on the cause, the engine buildup, not the resulting smoke and noise, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. So bringing it all together, what's the ultimate take-home message for everyone listening? What should we really focus on?
Yeah, the bottom line, I think, is this. What truly matters for a powerful, consistent, and frankly durable golf swing is how your body loads and prepares before impact. It's not just about what happens at the ball or after the ball. Getting that proper turn and stretch, specifically using that right knee flex to create dynamic, elastic resistance, that's what gives you repeatability, it generates the power, and it helps your swing hold up over time. And that's true even when things aren't perfect, you know? If you're tired late in a round or the weather's bad or just dealing with getting older, that fundamental loading pattern, that's your constant, that's your reliable power source.
The preparation is key.
Absolutely. So here's a thought for everyone listening. Next time you're watching golf, maybe on TV or at the range, try to watch differently. Don't just get wowed by the flashy finish or the impact itself. Instead, really focus your attention on the backswing. Watch how the body prepares, how it loads, how it stretches, how it turns. Pay attention to that trail knee, that subtle but powerful stability. That really is where the magic happens. That's where you'll find the true secrets to unlocking a more powerful and consistent swing for yourself.